Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Prime News. We got some really big stories today, and we're going to be starting off with one about Animal Crossing. So believe it or not, Nintendo has filed a trademark for Let's Go to the City for the purposes of programs on a home console. Now, Let's Go to the City is actually the name of Animal Crossing City Folk in the East. So yes, Animal Crossing City Folk was the Animal Crossing game that released on Wii. It was a very popular entry. This could signify maybe they're planning a remaster or a re-release, maybe in conjunction with the new Animal Crossing next year. Maybe they're making a sequel-esque to that one next year with a city-style Animal Crossing. Who really knows at this point? We just know that a new Animal Crossing was announced for Switch in 2019, and now they renewed this trademark. Heck, maybe there's a remaster coming. A lot of possibilities here. It might not even be related to Nintendo, because if you remember, they did release Wii games on things like the NVIDIA Shield TV out in China, including like Super Mario Odyssey and Twilight Princess. So it could just be something like that, where they're going to up-res the game and throw it at that platform. But whatever the case may be, the trademark has been recently filed, so it does suggest something's happening, because usually when you renew a trademark on an old game like that, it's not just because you're renewing the trademark to maintain the rights, especially when it says specifically that the trademark is for programs on a home console, suggesting that they are doing something with this on some sort of video gaming type device. Now, Nintendo does refer to the Nintendo Switch as a home console, a portable one, so it's possible that that is what they're referencing. But again, they have been releasing Wii games on the NVIDIA Shield. This just could be part of the next wave. Who knows? But it's exciting. All I know is new Animal Crossing. Hey, let's go, Pikachu and Eevee. Speaking of Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, there's actually some news about something that's coming in the post-game. And in the post-game of Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, they are adding in Master Trainers. Now, this is a quote that comes from Musada in an interview with Polygon. A good portion of the more difficult stuff is in the post-game. There's always ways to strengthen your Pokemon, and the reason you want to do that is you take these on Master Trainers. They're really powerful trainers that you encounter after the main story. Now, technically, this is new content that was never present in Pokemon Yellow. There was no post-game of Pokemon Yellow. However, other remakes like Fire Red, Leaf Green and stuff added things like extra islands with extra Pokemon in the post-game. So it's a little bit of a letdown from those games. But again, I think a lot of people feel like Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee is a letdown in general. So I guess I didn't expect there to be any content. Now, I'm still excited for these games for various reasons. But yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait and see what these Master Trainers are like. I'm always up for a challenge. And you know what? If it makes me have to level my Pokemon, have to do certain things with them that are outside of the normal comfort zone of the base game, I'm all for it. So, hey, let's go. So we do have a release date for Warframe on Nintendo Switch, but that's not really the big news. For those that are just wanting that release date, it's November 20th. But Panic Button is the one working on the port, and their work on this game is so good that an update to the code base based on Panic Button's work is going to be releasing for all platforms, because it increases or really improves the game by a full millisecond in response time. This is massive in a game like Warframe that's got multiplayer aspects, and some people complained about input lag on certain aspects, but Panic Button, literally in the midst of porting it to Switch, their code base that they were altering became so good that it's just an improvement across the board. Now again, we still don't have numbers for Switch, 30 FPS, 60 FPS, what resolution, what the lag might be, the milliseconds and all that stuff, but either way, this just goes to show how great Panic Button has become at this point at technical mastery. And this was just of the Switch platform, and apparently it just happens to translate to everything else. So excellent work. I can't wait to see whatever Panic Button's working on after this for Switch. They have clearly become the go-to developer for third parties, like AAA third parties, to have port games to Switch. It'd be very interesting to see some of the games like Kingdom Hearts 3 maybe get ported by this group. Again, that's something that's been rumored in the past and in discussions currently at Square Enix. But Panic Button feels like they're the go-to group. They have this stuff down. Good on you, Panic Button. And hey, Warframe's a really high-quality free-to-play game, just like Fortnite, just like Arena of Valor. I'm glad to see we're getting all of the highest of quality free-to-play games on the platform. So Dark Souls Remastered is coming to Switch very soon. I think everyone is aware of that, and if you're not, I'm sorry. I don't know why you aren't aware of that. We've talked about it several times. But what sucks about this version is that it has highly compressed audio. Now, this was originally talked about way back on the test event they did. But many people just kind of chalked it up, hey, you know what, this was a test. They could have just rushed out compressed audio just for the purposes of the demo, and it won't be like that in the final version. Well, there's now footage coming out of review samples of it, and it turns out the compressed audio is still there. Now, this compressed audio is running on a very ancient codec and only running at about 16 megahertz. The weird thing is, Nintendo themselves, in like Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild, actually use a very similar codec, but the reason that you don't actually feel like it's terrible quality audio is because they run that at 48 hertz. So it's a huge difference over the 16, and I don't know why they're doing it outside of trying to fit the game on an 8 gigabyte cart. But even then, how many AAA third-party games have required extra downloads? And all they could say is, hey, look, there's a required day one update that's 500 megabytes. Like, no one would have even complained. At this point, we're so used to it, and all that could have been is more, you know, like audio files that aren't as compressed. Otherwise, you could just play the compressed stuff on the cart. That's what I would have liked to see happen, but at this point, right now, it appears the final audio in the game just sounds really, really bad. To give you an idea, we're talking about audio quality that was like back in the Super Nintendo days. And that was, you know, when we were just doing 16-bit and it didn't really matter. But now when you have like full instruments and sword clangs and all this stuff, and it sounds like it's from 20 years ago, that doesn't sound good, especially when in the remastered version of the game, all the other versions have much, much higher quality audio. And audio is not like, it's not like Switch can't run higher quality audio. So it's not a limitation of the Switch outside of trying to get the game to fit on those smaller carts. And even then, again, day one update, a rather small update. I don't really know why they can't do that, but it's life. I guess we'll have to wait and see if the fan backlash or people talking about this will lead to them updating the game. Again, it's not out publicly yet, so they could release an update. This is, thankfully, something that can be patched in, so we'll just have to hope that after the game comes out, they patch in the higher quality audio files, because right now, I mean, we had to wait for the game, and now we're getting, you know, worse audio having to wait for the game. We already knew it wasn't going to look as good as the other versions. It's almost a lazy port. Can that be said? On November 2nd, there is going to be a brand new Nintendo Switch bundle. This is going to be a Diablo 3 bundle. Yes, remember that game's coming to Switch and actually supports the Nintendo Switch Online Service voice chat feature. The first third-party game to support it. Not that I care, but for those that do, there you go. This bundle is $360, or more correct, MSRP of $359.99 USD, and it includes the customized dock. Yes, they customize the dock. They also customize the backplate of your Nintendo Switch. And there's no customized Joy-Cons, they're just the black ones, which I guess makes sense with Diablo. But you also get a carrying case and the game. It is a digital version. It would be nice to see them pack in a physical, but I mean, they're cutting corners on money, so whatever. And for $360, it's actually a nice deal, just like the Smash one, just like a lot of other bundles they've been doing lately with brand new games. You know, when you include a carrying case in there, that already adds extra value on top of buying the Switch plus the game. So you are technically saving money if you're a new Switch owner. And obviously you get the customized dock and backplate, which I think is really, really interesting and something I enjoy, and I wish they were doing last year. You know how badly I want a Breath of the Wild customized dock and backplate official from Nintendo, not one I have to modify myself. Like, yes, really, really bad. So almost surprised they don't have a new one coming out for this holiday and just charge $300 and just give you Breath of the Wild, but I don't know. Apparently they don't like money. So Starlink Battle for Atlas reviews are in. No surprise, game releases tonight at midnight. So obviously the reviews had to land at some point, and it appears the Metacritic rating as it stands right now from around 25-ish reviews sits at a 79. Now it is notable that this is the Switch version of the game that sits at it, because there are not enough reviews that exist of the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One version for it to have a Metacritic rating. Now why would that be? Well, it appears that they sent out to press the Nintendo Switch version of the game. Not a surprise considering that it does include Star Fox, and it includes a bunch of extra Star Fox missions, technically making the Nintendo Switch version of the game the best value for your money, because you get extra content for the same price you pay on the other platforms. However, obviously on the other platforms you get higher resolution and higher frame rate. That's just to be expected. That being said, a 79 for a brand new IP isn't that bad. There are a wide range of scores, ranging from people who gave it a 7 to people who gave it a 9. A lot of people are praising the Star Fox inclusion. In fact, The fact that you can play from Star Fox from beginning to end, a lot of people have that to conclude that, hey, this is the open world Star Fox game everyone's been wanting forever. Obviously, it's not a Star Fox game. I'm going to be playing the game myself actually tonight at midnight. I'm actually starting the stream at 11 my time because I think it'll be playable at 11 my time, but maybe it'll end up being midnight. Whatever the case might be, I'm really excited for Starlink Battle for Atlas. I think a 79 Metacritic is not like... all that's telling me is they have a really good foundation here to have a continual franchise here. And the interesting parts are obviously going to be how they piecemeal up the ships and the captains, and especially in the physical version. I bought the digital version myself. Unfortunately, I couldn't justify $15 extra to have a physical R-Wing when I miss out on a bunch of content I can just get digitally for $60. So I don't know, it's an interesting delivery method, but I can't wait to play it myself. It's one of my most anticipated games of this year, more than Smash Bros, more than Pokemon. So I can't wait to dive in it. It sounds like in the reviews that I've seen and watched that it's the perfect game for me, but it's not perfect for everyone, and there's ways it could improve, and that's fine. It's a brand new IP. Got to remember, this is not technically a Star Fox game. This is a brand new IP called Starlink. Like, it actually revolves around a character named Mason. So I actually really want to see a sequel to this. So I hope it sells well enough that we get a sequel. Whether or not they continue the Toys to Life stuff doesn't really matter to me because I just don't care about Toys to Life. But I know my kids would think it's cool. And that's probably why I didn't buy it, because that plastic R-Wing would be broken in a day in this house. Anyways, folks, that's going to do it for today's episode of Prime News. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know it came out a little later today, but I mean, go Brewers today against the Dodgers. Obviously, go Pack Go, Monday Night Football. By the time you watch this, both games might be over. It is what it is. Maybe you're watching my live stream. Enjoy the video. Love you guys. Remember to enter our Super Smash Bros. Ultimate giveaway down in the description. It's for the bundle with the Switch, and I will catch you guys in the next one.